All right, so if your job was to study John Dalton, I'm going to go over his contribution to the atomic theory. Okay, this is John Dalton. Now, you need to be able to explain to the students these 4 points. All right, and it's a good idea to explain to them each point alone. Let's go over them together. The first one says, each element is composed of tiny, indestructible particles called atoms. That's number 1. Indestructible means you cannot break. Okay, if you don't know that, you can make a note. It means you cannot break. All right, take a look at this first picture here. This is a piece of copper. This is a piece of aluminum, like aluminum foil. Now look inside copper and aluminum. What do you see? What are all these little circles? These are atoms. So Dalton said everything is made of atoms. And these atoms, you cannot break them. That's number 1. All right? Let's take a look at number 2. All atoms of a given element have the same mass and other properties that distinguish them from atoms of other elements. All right? So this is saying something like this. Do you see the copper atoms and the aluminum atoms? Are they the same? No. You can see them. They are different from each other. Look at these copper atoms and look at these aluminum atoms. They are different. So the atoms from different elements, they will be different from each other. Okay? And atoms of aluminum, Dalton said atoms of aluminum, they will all be the same. Look at these atoms of aluminum. Do you see they're all the same? That's what Dalton said. Well, then here in red, it says that this part was later proven wrong. There is no single mass for a given element due to existence of isotopes. Let me explain that here. So what he discovered, what later was discovered, actually not Dalton. Dalton, he thought all atoms were the same. But later they discovered something called isotopes. Isotopes are when you have the same atom, but there are different kinds. Like we have aluminum 26, aluminum 27, aluminum 28. Okay, all of these, they're aluminum, but they are a little bit different from each other. Actually, what's different about them is they have different number of neutrons. They have different neutrons. Okay, that's what's different about them. So Dalton, he said that all atoms of the same element, they're gonna be the same. Look at all these aluminum atoms. They're all the same. Okay, but later they discovered that this was not correct. All right, let's look at number 3. Atoms combine in simple whole number ratios to form compounds. We spent lots of time studying this. Look at number 3. All right, here's carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is CO and carbon dioxide is CO2. So you can see that when they combine, they form ratios of simple numbers. You see these simple numbers? 1 to 1, 2 to 1. Okay, this means I have 2 oxygen and 1 carbon. This means I have 1 oxygen and 1 carbon. This is the simple whole number ratios. So Dalton said atoms, they can combine together to make compound in single whole number ratio. You see this? This is an atom. You see this? This is an atom. But when they come together, what do they make? This is a compound. All right? All right, let's look at the next one. The next one says, the last one, atoms of one element cannot change into atoms of another element, okay? So atoms of copper, they will always be copper. Atoms of aluminum, they will always be aluminum. But what can they do? The atoms only change the way they are bound together. All right, let me explain what this means for number 4. Whoopsies. Whoops. Okay. Whoop. All right, for number 4, take a look at this picture. Here you can see that you have carbon, and here you have oxygen. All right? Now this carbon and this oxygen, this is atoms, and this is atoms. Now these carbon and oxygen, you can't change their identity, but you can change the way they come together. Look at this. We rearrange them and we make something new. This is carbon dioxide. So atoms, they can be rearranged and you can make something new. So here's atom, and then we have a compound. All right, be sure that you're ready in the class to explain what these 4 points mean.